Hello and welcome. This is your tarot reading, Virgo, for the month of July 2025. I'm Martha Smith. I'm the reader who runs Cards on the Table. I live in upstate New York and I've been working events and house parties and a lot of things like that. So Marion, I'm obviously not Marion. Marion has been having some health issues, so she put out a call for help. And I answered the call and I said, I'd like to take Virgo. So, if you have a Virgo sun, moon, or rising sign, this reading is for you. Take what you will, and if it doesn't resonate, then let it go. So, a couple of things, Virgo, that I want to mention before we get started. One is that your ruling planet Mercury will be going retrograde in the sign of Leo, starting July 17th and lasting till August 11th. Now, Mercury retrograde gets a really bad rap because everyone's like, oh, the sky is falling and everything's going to pot and my life will be a mess and I'm just going to go hide in my blanket fort for a month, which is unrealistic. So think about it this way. You've been spending the last couple months taking in information, and now is the time to sort it all out. Kind of like you ate a meal and now it's time to digest it. So look at it as, I've heard other readers like Teresa Reed, the tarot lady, talk about it as the month of re. So you review, reorganize, revamp, do all the things that you've been putting off, and take care of all those little details. And to help you with those details is Mars in your sign, Virgo, all the way through the month of July. So there's all of that energy to help you deal with all those details that you may have been putting off because they're just such a pain. So with that out of the way, let's get to the reading. So I am using the Universal Rider-Waite deck. This has been my go-to deck for a long time. It's just really basic, it's good, and I like the way that they recolored the deck. My background is in art, so the way a deck looks, that balance between details and clarity is really important for me. I mixed the deck up quite a bit, so bear with me. I'm almost done. That feels good. Okay. So, Virgo, this is your situation, current situation for the month of July, and this is your challenge. So, your current situation is you are hard at work. You are making all the things. And there's a saying that in order to be really, really good at something, you have to spend some particular amount of hours doing it. Some people say 10,000. I don't know if that's accurate, but the point is you have to do something a lot to really get it under your fingers, in your mind, however that works for you. And this is going to be a month of doing it and doing it and doing it. You may be tired of doing it. How many more widgets do I have to make before I'm good at this? Well, when you get to that point, you'll know. So until you get to that point, just surrender to this energy. Learn the lessons you need to learn through making or repeating or whatever it is you have to do to get it to the point of mastery. Your challenge is, this is not making you really happy right now. This is, I like to say, it's the cliche of the happy family with the house and the kids and the dog who's somewhere off where we can't see it. But it's everything you'd hoped or wished for, and it's all happening, and it's beautiful in this rainbow of cups. Well, this card's reversed. So you're striving for that happy ending, and it just feels like it's just about in reach, and you can't quite grasp it, and it's really frustrating. And I get it. It's you work really hard, as we see here, and you're doing all the things you should be doing, and yet you're not there yet. But the fact that this came up at all, I think, is good because it means it's sort of in your sights and it can happen. It's taking longer than you'd like to get there. So I'm going to lay down a few more cards, and those will speak to the situation and the challenge. So let's see what we get. All right, let's scoot these here together so you can see them all. So the first one we have the Four of Wands. And even though it's reversed, it's still a good card because it's showing you did a lot of work, you maybe on your own or with a group of people, and it's time to celebrate. You've reached some kind of milestone, and this just means that instead of a big party, you may just have donuts in the break room or meet for coffee somewhere and, toast each other with a cappuccino. But you need to stop and really don't just say, okay, fine, on to the next. Just say, no, stop, take that little time out, even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and just acknowledge that you have reached something. You've reached a spot where you can celebrate. And we've got this Seven of Swords reversed. With its reversed, I'm wondering if you're wise to some hinky goings on, or if it's you thinking outside of the box, or you're not thinking outside of the box and you really need to. Something's going on where you need to be creative and think about this. How can you approach it from a different angle? Attack the problem in a different way, because obviously what you've been doing hasn't been working. So maybe if you are getting tired of making a zillion widgets, try changing your process, changing your technique. Say to yourself, can I still make the widgets if I do it this way? Or if I use these tools or this plan? And that kind of mixes it up for you, keeps it interesting, and expands your skill set. Smack in the middle, we've got the Ten of Pentacles. And this is often a card people talk about as legacy or family money, but it's all the resources within your family, whether that's your family of kin, your family, found family, all those resources, which is in addition to money or material things. It's time, it's skills, it's what are people willing to give to you and you can give to them. But then we've got a King of Wands reversed. And these are, to me, often, they're people, they're not gender specific. They're more of an energy and a way of dealing with the world and with things. And kings are mature, they're experienced, they're good managers, they're good leaders, except when they're reversed. And this one's reversed. So this can be a very charismatic person that has great ideas but leaves others to deal with the details. And Virgo, you probably run into a few of those because you're so good at dealing with those details and fixing every little thing and almost never taking credit for it. You do the work, but you may resent this attitude, and honestly, who wouldn't? Because this is the person that is not always the easiest to deal with. Again, very energetic and charismatic, but lets other people come up with how it's actually going to happen. And because this is wands and fire, it may have a temper and may inflict that on other people. And now we have one of the cards no one likes to see, and that's the Ten of Swords. Now, I just want to point out, we've got 3 tens here. So Virgo, that tells me, because the 10 is the last card in a suit, that you may be coming to the end of a cycle with something. 10 is the last before you go on, whether you go on to the court cards or you sort of go on to the next ace, whatever that is. You're coming to the end of something. And in that sense, it's, yes, you still have more work to do as these cards show here, but you are coming to the end of that and you need to wrap that up and celebrate what you've accomplished and start looking to the next thing, whatever that is. So I just want to point out that the Ten of Swords, it's the overkill card. This person got stabbed 10 times when honestly one sword would have done the job. But you notice the card shows this person the hand. And the hand, it's kind of hard to see in this one, but it's this blessing pose. And so this person, even though they've suffered tremendously, they're at peace with what's happened. And that this card is, well, the worst has happened. And the sky is dawning in the east, the clouds are moving away. So you've seen the worst. And that in itself is a good thing. So take heart that you've seen the worst has happened, you can go on and continue on towards this happy ending. And on the bottom of the deck, what do we see? This is often a thing that you need to know that hasn't come up before. And we have our one and only major arcana, and it's strength. So it's saying, you may feel like you don't have the ability, the stamina to keep on doing the things you need to do and keep on slogging towards that happy ending that always seems just out of reach. But trust me, you do have the strength and you will get there. So take that to heart, Virgo. I hope you have a wonderful month. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and sweat the details, but don't let them rule your life. And it's okay to stop and take a break because you need to. So thank you for letting me read for you, and I will see you soon.